Infield coming to get the green. Let's go inside the NBC pit window, Benny.
Mike Lingerfeld, front tire changer here. Rolling. Watch as he comes around the front. Ryan McRae has to chase the tire down, and oh, Mike, he trips. He slides on his hands and knees, but he just crawls over to the left front and still almost finishes as quick as the rear tire changer.
14.4 seconds. Casey Mears took 2 tires.
He probably had a blistered right sneaker. That deal.
And there were no speeding penalties, so everybody minding the pit road laws here. Dave Burns.
Bill, Mike Lingerfeld's shoe was okay, and he was uninjured as well. I checked with him.
Thank you, sir.
And Mike missed last week's race at Kansas because he was injured at Talladega trying to fix one of the wrecked race cars, the 38 wrecked race car.
Casey Mears was 12th before pit stops. Took 2 tires, leads the field to the green.
Elliott Sadler, I think, may have spun the tires here on that restart. He's going to lose the spot, maybe.
And check who's in 4th position, Tony Stewart.
Yeah, they may all lose spots here in the next 10 laps.
Matt Kenseth in that 17 car, 10 laps down, running alongside the race leader.
Alan Bestwick says, Tony Stewart had any tire trouble tonight?
BP, not a spot on any of the tires that have come off of his car. They've got their fingers crossed down here, but not a spot. And that's really bad news for the competition.
I agree with you. I was wondering about that.
You saw the 24 car of Jeff Gordon on the apron. Apparently he's helping out his teammate here, Jimmy Johnson.
He's scuffing tires for those guys. We talked about it earlier. You put a heat cycle on them, you kind of scrub them in and cure them a little bit, and that does help these tires.
Kyle Busch, who brought out the most recent caution, done for the night, out of the race. Joins Sterling Marlin, Dale Earnhardt Jr., and Mike Wallace.
And Elliott Sadler has gotten down that 38 car on the bottom of the racetrack, and he just can't get back to the top. And he has fallen back last time by. He had gone back to the 7th position and losing even more spots. And here comes Tony Stewart.
Looking inside of Biffle. Now falls in behind. We'll watch the race. Check with Marty.
Well, we'll ask you, Kyle Busch, the same thing we've asked everybody else. If you have any indication it was going to go out on you?
No, I never really had any indication. But first off, I just want to thank my whole Delphi guys. You know, they did an awesome job for me. Gave me a great race car out there, and you know, it's not the tires, it's not the racetrack, it's just the conditions we're under. And you know, I was out there riding my car around there 85–90% and just scared to death of pushing it that final 10% because you never know what's going to happen. But it's just hard to race in these conditions, and we're seeing it every 30 laps. So unless NASCAR wants to throw a caution every 30 laps, that's pretty much what's going to happen. We're going to see cars in the fence bringing us the cautions. So they're going to pay somebody to win tonight. It ain't going to be the number 5 car who deserved it.
Are all the drivers running less than 100%?
I guarantee it. You go ask everybody after this race, ask them how hard they ran. They'll tell you they ran hard at the end, but ask them how hard they ran through the beginning and middle part of the race.
Glad to see you're okay.
Matt Kenseth just slipped up.
Yep, Stewart took advantage of that, and he is on a mission. I guarantee you he's not running 80% right now. Stewart's got a good race car, and what's great about Stewart's car is he can pass cars on the bottom and not get loose.
And he might be running 100% because he hasn't had any tire problems to worry about. So he can go out there and mash that accelerator down to the floor and not worry about it. But all these other cars in up front, they have had some problems. They have to be careful and try to keep that car around till the end of the race.
Tony Stewart to the front. I can't imagine how difficult it is not to go 100% in these cars.
It's pretty difficult, especially when you look in the mirror and you got guys that want to pass you. You know, it's the driver's nature to stand on the gas and pass people. So it's really hard to find a balance to try to, you know, run hard enough to maintain or stay in a position and not abuse your right front tire.
And you see that last time when the 42 car, Jamie McMurray, got alongside the 16, Biffle, 16, just backed off and let him go because now is not the time to race. You just simply cannot take a chance and use your car too hard now.
And you've been watching, Benny, and you're concerned about what's going to happen in the second half of this race as we approach the halfway mark.
Because I think the guys then will start trying to race each other, and then we'll have the blown tires plus guys making contact and running into each other.
Well, if Ryan Newman wins the Nextel Cup championship this year, Alan, he's going to remember this night, isn't he?
Well, I think he's concerned that there's still a long way to go in this race, Bill. He's going to remember this night anyway. Ryan called in on the radio just after they went full speed racing. I have a vibration. Crew Chief Matt Borland and he discussing it for a minute. Ryan questioned whether or not he could drive the car this way. Matt told him to feel it out as good as he could. He hasn't come to pit road and he hasn't said any more about it.
Well, he's dropping back right now, so boy, you got to listen to what that race car's telling you, because if it's a vibration 9 out of 10 times, it doesn't go away.
So what's he doing right now?
Listen to his butt. And it's always right, especially on a racetrack like this.
You see, McMurray has gone by Mears to take over the second position. Biffle goes by to take over third. But all these guys chasing Tony Stewart.
And again, Mears just with 2 tires on the most recent pit stop. Tony trying to pull away. Jamie McMurray's only win came at this track, subbing for Sterling Marlin. Tony Stewart's a past winner here, former series champion, and the leader in the chase for the Nextel Cup. 165 laps complete at Charlotte.
NASCAR Nextel Cup Racing from Lowe's Motor Speedway, presented by the Principal Financial Group, is brought to you by Chevy, the winningest name in racing, and American Revolution. By Prilosec OTC, 0 heartburn for 24 hours with 1 pill a day. By Speed Pass from Exxon and Mobil. And by Sprint, proud partner of the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series.
More than 130,000 fans here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway on a beautiful night for racing. Caution is out.
Turn 4. Harvick, right front. How many laps was that, Bill?
17.
So now we're just working less and less laps when we're having tire trouble. Started out at 28.
28, 28, 25, 19, 17.
See him firing the engine up. He's going to try to drive this thing back in.
That's 2 and 2 nights for Harvick.
Yep. Yeah, he had a hard hit last night. Good point, Wally.
Yep.
He's already up on the wall. Happens in a hurry, though. 7th caution of the night. They had 22 caution flags here in the 600-mile race in May. Over 100 laps, a quarter of the race run under the yellow. Last night, a third of the race for the Busch Series run under the yellow.
Now the guys that, like him, that hit last night who weren't happy, really not going to be happy tonight.
Let's pay off our singular wireless race talk poll. How many teams should a car owner be allowed to have?
Pretty close.
I tell you what, that's 50-50 almost. That's
it's within our margin of error.
Yeah,
wouldn't you
of
say?
course it is.
I think we have a large
margin of error.
What's our 15%, right? I'm only kidding, folks.
Well,
But
everybody will be
obviously,
coming. Yep.
A lot of folks think that's a lot to do about nothing.
Pit road is closed,
Oh,
and I'm not sure
man.
everybody knew that. Let's check in Wally's World, driven by State Farm, where the talk was about the surface, and I'm not talking about just the racetrack.
Welcome to Wally World. My special guest today, Lake Bell, from the show on NBC called Surface.
Hi.
Welcome aboard.
So Surface is about these like 3 strangers. They have a close encounter with an alien species at the bottom of the ocean.
On the promos for your show, they say, the fate of the world is in your hands. That's how you should feel about me right now.
Right. Oh my God.
Now,
They say a lot of women scream on your show. I am not screaming. Goodness gracious.
what's this?
That's the wall. That's the wall.
I want to assure you that this is a very safe racetrack. They don't wreck on this place.
What? I feel incredibly safe and in good hands with you, sir.
you don't get out of the car until you say, I love Wally's World.
I freaking love Wally's World. Okay,
you can get out.
It's on Monday nights, and Wally, keep your hands on the wheel. Now, chassis adjustment going on for the 97. They're going to go for 4 tires, but his teammate Mark Martin takes on 2 to Snyder.
Matt, Greg Biffle running 3rd on the racetrack, and he said, this car is so good, guys, I'm going to make no changes for the 3rd straight time. Alan.
You see Tony Stewart already gone. 2 tires. Want to see what it'll do in case they need to do it at the end of the race, Dave.
Casey Mears needs 4 tires, no changes to the chassis. He said it's loose at the start, but it gets better.
So now pit strategy coming into play.
Oh, yeah.
And Rusty Wallace, I think, in the 2 car. Let's see how many changes. DJ Richardson, he changes the right. 5 lug nuts. Just 2.
2 tires for Rusty.